And hello, guys, gals, and our non-binary pals. Welcome to Pretty Terrifying. Now, before we get started, I want to quickly apologize for not having any face cam in this video. I wanted to talk about this as soon as possible and get this video as soon as possible. So therefore, I'm just going to show footage and have a little voiceover. Now in this video, I want to talk about the Resident Evil Requiem Showcase that we got today. Now, this is my most anticipated thing for 2026. I am a diehard Resident Evil fan, and I definitely pre-ordered this day one. I pre-ordered the deluxe edition steelbook, and I'm just super excited, and I was really hyped for this showcase, and I'm pretty happy with it. But enough of me blabbering, let's get on to... So in the beginning of the showcase, we get a narrator talking about there's going to be new information that we're going to learn about the game and gave it a release date. But while the narrator was talking, we got a couple new scenes from the game and such, so I'll put them up. Looks like we got some street view. I believe the place is Renwood because in the game it talks about the Renwood Hotel, and that's one of the locations in the game. But I just want to take a moment to appreciate the graphics and everything. It looks so good. I'm so fucking pumped. We also got a new look at my boy Leon. He looks great. Noticed a little 5 o'clock shadow, but he looks really good. I'm really excited to experience his gameplay once the game comes out. The showcase opens up with the director of the game, Koshi Nakanishi, talking about how there was something going around saying Leon wasn't in the game. But he did say, actually, that they tried to make a horror-focused game with Leon, but it just didn't really seem to fit. Now, while he is talking about this, we get some new glimpses at Leon and gameplay-wise, and oh my god, the game looks so good. I am honestly extremely impressed. Now, Koshi also talks about how playing with the two different protagonists, Grace Ashcroft and Leon Kennedy, is like playing two different games, which is kind of a risky but pretty cool idea. They did mention before that Grace is more of a survival horror kind of game, and Leon is more action-packed, and I'm still super excited. He compared Grace's gameplay to more like RE2 and RE7, with its more focus on horror, while comparing Leon's gameplay to more like the action-packed kind of thing. We got an RE4, which RE4, especially the remake, is such a good game as well. And I do have to say, the gameplay here looks amazing. He also talks about how combining both styles of gameplay would pretty much be like the most emotional range of any Resident Evil title to date. Which I agree, this could be a really good thing, and I really hope it's executed very well. We also got some new snippets of gameplay, but in this section, he's basically talking about how, with mixture of Grace's horrifying tension and the dynamic high action of Leon's gameplay, it's pretty much the ultimate balance between tension and release, which I think it's a good idea. Now, Koshi Nakanishi talks about how Grace's story and Leon's story is basically one unified thing, and he goes into a little bit more detail about it, and he talks about Leon a little bit, saying this is post RE6 Leon. He's still a DSO agent on his ever-growing crusade to fight against bioterrorism. He also mentions about how Leon went through multiple horrors throughout his life, and with this one, he might be pushed to his limits. Now I'm showing some new gameplay that was shown, but basically Naganishi talks about how the zombies in this game in particular still hold on to characteristics and personalities from their past lives. He gives an example of a custodian, as you see here, cleaning vigorously, and they pretty much cling onto habits, and if you dodge them or attack them, it adds a pretty cool element to the gameplay, and this is quite interesting. I'm intrigued. Now with this section, we immediately get gameplay of Leon, and oh my god, this is so cool. Even with his fuck ass one-liners, I love it.
I think I want a second opinion.
Naganishi talks about how Leon's gameplay is more like a revamped, pushed up version of the combat from RE4, which is amazing as it is, so I cannot wait to see the improvements. He also shows that Leon will have a hatchet in the game, which will help with parry attacks. I did notice that there is a sharpening mechanic, which I think is a pretty fun idea. I just can see it being stressful for some people when engaged with combat and you have to sharpen it up, but it's still really cool. The gameplay looks amazing. He also talks about how they refined the gunplay for him and that you could shoot certain areas of an enemy just so you can melee attack them, and that's super cool. Also, from the looks of it, you're able to pick up the enemy's weapon, like the example here was a chainsaw, and attack them with it, and that Leon has a goddamn chainsaw. That's awesome. This will also help with coming up with strategies to take out the enemy, and strategy is key. Just gotta say, these animations look fucking insane. I'm impressed. He also goes over Grace's gameplay throughout the game, talking about how it's more close-spaced, more scarce ammo and scarce resources, and it's just kind of like a sneaking around. You don't have to attack enemies. You could choose to run away from them. From the looks of it, I think there won't really be much for weaponry or anything like that, but he does talk about how there isn't a lot of heavy weaponry, but the gun known as Requiem that Grace eventually gets is one of those really cool things, and oh my god, when I saw this, my jaw dropped when she fired the gun and shot at two zombies' heads at once. Holy crap. He also talks a little bit about crafting, talking about how you would need to take out enemies to collect blood in order to craft. He pretty much compared it to something akin to Resident Evil 2. I think this is a really cool concept, something I would have to get used to, but this is actually kind of a cool concept that will kind of force you to kind of fight and attack enemies in order to be able to craft what you need. Now, here's the part that I like because I think it will satisfy everybody. He talks about how there's different gameplay options for the game. Like, you could switch perspective for both Grace and Leon from first person to third person. I know everyone has their preferences. Me, I don't care. It's whatever I'm in the mood for, and holy crap. I didn't think they would do this, but you know what? This is really cool. He also talks about the different modes you can play with it, like casual mode has aim assist to help take out zombies, and it's more easier, but standard classic is interesting because it would involve ink ribbons, which was something you needed in the earlier games in order to save, which is cool, but not really for me completely, but I'll figure it out. Now, in this section of the video, I'm just going to kind of go by this really quickly. I don't want to get too in depth with this part because it just talks about some collaborations and stuff like that. So they talk about a Porsche collaboration, which they made a one-of-a-kind car, especially made for Leon, that fit the Porsche brand, but also felt like it was from within that universe, which is cool. I guess it's a pretty cool car, and it fits him pretty well. You do get some scenes of him driving in it, but I won't really talk about it too much. He also showed off a collaboration with a watchmaker named Hamilton, where they make custom watches based off Leon Kennedy and Grace Ashcroft. And they look pretty good. Once the Leon Kennedy one goes on sale, I'll try to snag myself up one of those. They also talked a little bit about what would be in the deluxe edition of the game, which is some skins, filters, little extra charms and stuff like that, some files. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm excited for it. They also briefly touched up on a collaboration with NVIDIA to help with PC performance, and they also revealed Grace Ashcroft and Leon Kennedy statues that could go separately or make one together to make one whole thing, which is a pretty neat idea. Once they go on sale this fall, I'll definitely be snagging up both of them. They also briefly talked about a Switch Pro controller that's coming out the same day for Resident Evil Requiem, and they talked about a Amino for a little bit. I don't really care about those too much, but it's still a pretty neat thing. Now, Naganishi talks about how Leon has a secret relating to Elvis, in connection to the murder of Alyssa Ashcroft, who is Grace Ashcroft's mom. She was originally a character from Resident Evil Outbreak, and now is a character here. While he's talking about this, we do get to see a little bit of Leon doing some research on some kind of computer. Naganashi also talks about how he hopes that the people who played the game unravel the mystery of what's really going on with Elpis and with Leon. And that was everything that was shown at the Resident Evil Showcase for Resident Evil Requiem. If you made it this far into the video, I want to say thank you so much for giving me the support. I know it's more of a lower quality video. I started making this immediately after the showcase ends so I can get this video out as soon as possible. So I do apologize for it being a bit lackluster. But if you did enjoy this video and enjoy some of my other content on the channel, please, it would help support the channel. And if you want to, give me a sub or a like. Up to you. No one's forcing you to. And I also have some socials if you are interested. I have a Instagram, X/Twitter account, and TikTok. What do you think of Resident Evil Requiem or Resident Evil as a franchise? Feel free to let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, I had a fun time, you had a fun time, and I will see you on the other side of the blade. This has been pretty terrifying, and I hope you're ready for